Hey y'all, welcome to Paige's Perspective, where I help you find your inner strength to cope with life. So we focus so much on what we're not doing in life, and we forget about what we are doing. And this year was really challenging for me. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I looked at a lot of the things that I wasn't doing, like my self-care wasn't exactly how I wanted it to be. I felt like I was overwhelmed. Like, there was a lot of things that happened within this year that I just felt were really challenging. And I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I tend to beat myself up. And then I just focus on the negative. I'm putting that in air quotes because I don't really like to use negative and positive too much because sometimes it just goes too far. Sometimes it's reality. So I decided to go through all of my pictures, my posts, just things that I've done within the year to see what was actually accomplished. Since, like I said, I was focusing so much on the things that like were holding me back that I was too blinded to see all the things that I actually did this year. And I've seen posts where someone mentions, like, when you see someone posting about what they accomplished this year and you feel like you just survive and, remember they're just posting their highlight reels or something similar to that. I don't remember specifically what it says, but I'm sure you've seen these before and you may have felt them. But I want to challenge this. You may have had one of the worst years of your life. You may have had a very, very challenging year. Maybe you had to make some huge changes or some sacrifices. Maybe you lost a job. Maybe you lost your relationship. Maybe you have grown children who aren't talking with you. Maybe you feel like you are in survival mode and there's nothing to be happy or positive about. And I get it, guys. I see you. I know. I understand how it feels. But again, I'm going to challenge you here. This is where our attitude comes into play. If you didn't read Matt's newsletter this week from Monday, it's amazing. Go to our website, twfo.com. I believe it's a blog post up there. If not, I'm going to add it by the time this is released so that you can go and read it. But it's about our attitudes and how it's important and how it really helps us get through certain things within our lives. And all the shit that you've dealt with or the changes you've been forced to make, they're going to be worth it. And I know it doesn't feel that way. And you may think like, you're crazy. Quit telling me that. I don't want to hear it. Just hear me out, guys. There will be something that comes from it as long as you keep going, as long as you have a certain attitude about it. Maybe you lost your relationship. Y'all, that's fucking hard. That's hard as hell. That's not an easy thing to go through, but you're going to gain something from it. Look at all the good that can come from losing the relationship. This is where I like to look at the bright side and shift my attitude. And because when we shift our attitude or our perspective on things, that's going to give us the drive that we need to keep going. If we sit in it for way too long about, our attitude on how it might be poor, how it sucks or whatnot, it's not going to make it easier to get through. It's going to actually make it more challenging. Maybe you set some boundaries this year. Maybe you decided enough is enough this year. Maybe you had difficult conversations with people that you felt like you couldn't have conversations with before. Maybe you've made, changes within your life that were really, really hard to make, but they're not bad things, guys. Those are great things. Those are things to be proud of. Those are the things that you got to look at instead of the, why me? Why did this happen to me attitude? So I want you to go through your pictures. I want you to go through your posts, like especially the ones in the community. If you are in our community, go through the posts. You're going to see some patterns there. You're going to see some things there that you may not have recognized before. Go through your journal this year. See the things that you've gone through this year and the things that you've become stronger in, even when you felt like you weren't strong. Just see the growth you've made. See what you have accomplished this year. Maybe you've gained more self-awareness. Like I said, maybe you've had more tough conversations. Maybe you actually went no contact with somebody who was draining you. Maybe you took steps to protect your kids or protect yourself for that matter. Look at all the hard things that you accomplished and recognize that they are not bad things. They are great things, even though they're difficult. Remember, hard does not mean wrong. So what did I accomplish? I didn't think I accomplished that much this year, but I went through all my stuff and I found a few things. And this is not a brag, guys. I'm not a bragger. Fuck that. I'm not a bragger. But I do think it's important for people to understand what anybody goes through, good or bad, so that you can see what you can relate to. It'll help you see that you probably have accomplished something this year, even when it feels like you haven't. I guarantee you there is something that you have done, even when you feel like you're just in survival mode. So I'm just going to go through my things. This is for me. Because this helps me recognize the things that I've done. And maybe you can look at the things that you've done. Because like I said, I had a challenging year. I did, mentally, emotionally. Like I've had some challenges. That's life. I'm learning to embrace the journey. I'm learning what the journey looks like and what it means for me and all those things. So my husband and I had 72 podcasts that were published this year so far. If y'all remember, I didn't want to do this podcast. I did not want to do it. It was something that was completely out of my comfort zone. But luckily I have a husband who likes to challenge me. I started these Paige's perspective episodes, which are totally out of my comfort zone. I'm here all by myself talking to a microphone. I'm looking at a screen with some bullet points. I'm not really reading too much today. I wanted to wing this one so that you could get a different version of me, basically the real version of me, I guess. But I really do love doing these episodes because they're growth oriented. And when I do things that are growth oriented, they help me just as much as they help you. It's not just about my past. It's not just about the things that I've gone through. It's about things that I deal with and ways that and the tools that I utilize to get through, difficult situations. That's a big deal. That's something that I've accomplished. I've gotten out of my comfort zone with recording videos. And I got out of my comfort zone by doing an in-person workshop. Like that was scary as hell, guys. I was a stay-at-home mom for 10 years. Like I didn't get out into the business world. I didn't go out and do things. I was I was like a hermit because I was just focusing on being a mom and doing things around the house. I didn't really have much of a life. I was just doing what I needed to do. And that stunts my growth. That stunts a lot of people's growth, whether they recognize it or not. So doing an in-person workshop to help others go through things that I have been through before was a big accomplishment for me. Even though it was only for like a day, there was a lot of work that went into it. And then going out and just standing in front of people and actually talking was scary, but I did it and I enjoyed it. And it actually made me want to do more of them. I attended a counseling conference to promote the podcast to therapists like that. I shared my story with somebody and it touched her so much. She was extremely grateful for the things that we're doing. And there were people who were like, okay, good luck with that. Somebody actually said, good luck with that. Which fine. That's fine. We're not for everybody. But I know that when I went and I talked to somebody, even though it was a couple of hours, and talk to people about what we do and how it's going to actually help a lot of people. Like just helping that one person was extremely amazing for me because I'm like, okay, this is pushing me. This is making me aware that what we're doing is important. So that was like an accomplishment. And I was totally out of my comfort zone there because I was all by myself. Like I was not with Matt. I was there just winging it. I know I could have done better, but it was a confidence boost for me. We went from 100,000 downloads to 250,000 within 8 months. That was a big accomplishment. I mean, that just means our content is getting out to more people and people are really learning and gaining something and becoming more authentic. Like that's the goal. And that's looking at that. I'm not a stats person. I'm not really a big numbers person like my husband is because I'm more of like a go with the flow. Like, I don't know if that's reality talking type of thing, but this was a huge number for me to look at. Another thing I've done, I've hosted weekly meetings with our independently strong students. These are great. And definitely out of my comfort zone because I'm the one who's hosting them and talking with people behind on a screen, on Zoom meetings. And I love them so much. I know you guys listen. I love you guys so much. I love spending my Wednesday evenings with you, but sometimes it has been difficult for me because it's outside of my comfort zone. I'm having to put myself out there. But again, that's something that I'm accomplishing, even though it was uncomfortable. We gained almost 100 students in our program this year. That means that there are 100 people who are actually working super hard on themselves to become who they want to be. And it's a beautiful thing to witness. So these are my business accomplishments, which kind of go along with my personal accomplishments since our business is based on my personal life and my personal experiences. So they can go hand in hand. And it just means that we're helping more than we truly know that we are. And, that's our purpose. It's what keeps us going. But my personal accomplishments are similar. The theme this year was to get out of the comfort zone and do the things. I started dancing again. I'm going to be performing on stage soon in front of random people, which I'm totally going to mess up. And I'm totally okay with that because that's life. It will go on. They will forget about me within 5 minutes. If I mess up, so be it. I'm one of those people that gets like, when I dance, my facial expressions just show everything. I really enjoy it. I have fun doing it. I love to dance. And if you're looking at me and you're like, okay, what the hell are you doing? I really don't care. It's fun. It's something for me. It's not necessarily for you. It's something that I enjoy doing. But again, out of my comfort zone, I haven't been on a stage to perform in over 20 years. So that'll be interesting. I've also been really mindful with my kids this year. I feel like I was more present with them. I take time to chat with them. We watch shows together. We eat dinner with them when we can. I'm really focused on trying to balance everything out. And I think we've done a decent job this year. I know that we can do better, but I'm not necessarily going to focus on all the things that I didn't do because I know that I did do a lot of things this year with my children that were beneficial for them and myself. We got through Matt's surgery and we're still getting through his recovery. That's been a hell of an experience. It's been almost a month since he had surgery. And I've had to pick up on a lot of things and I've been focusing on the things that I've been doing instead of the things that I haven't done. My laundry has taken a complete back seat and that's okay. Even though my kids are like, Mom, you suck at laundry. And I'm like, I know I do. I know I do. I will try to do better. But right now it's just been different. It's been challenging because I am the only one who's been able to do things. Matt has also been challenging me a lot lately. I appreciate that. Like we push each other, but I also state my boundaries on when I want to discuss certain things, and when I need to actually decompress and take a step back. Like I'm good at knowing where my limits are. We are both like go types of people. You could say that we are workaholics, but again, like I know my limits and I know when I need to take a step back and I'll voice that. I'll let him know. And then sometimes he's like, okay, but this you need to like, let's push through. And I'm like, okay. So, and I'll push through. But then there are times where I'm like, no, I need to decompress right now. So give me my space. But that's growth. That's growth, knowing when to take a step back and when to voice your concerns about something. Those are boundaries. I've also had to learn how to deal with criticism this year, and that's making me become more self-aware of things that I need to work on. I've had to deal with imposter syndrome. That's been a big deal this year too. Exposure therapy has been so difficult for me, but I know that it's a good thing because each time that I do it, I'm getting better and better at it, and I'm learning something from it, and I'm just shifting my attitude on it instead of being like, oh my God, why do I have to do this, to I get to do this. I get to do this. This is something that I get to do, and I will learn from all the mistakes that I make, but I'm still going to keep going. So my life is consumed by kid activities, TUFO, independently strong, and then also trying to be a decent wife. Next year, I'd love to focus on having a life outside of this stuff, but that is really challenging because our kids are at an age where extracurricular activities are important. And my life kind of goes on the back burner a bit. But again, guys, that's okay. Like, I'm there for my kids. I want to be there for them. I want to enjoy this time with them. They're not going to be this age forever. There will be a time where I can actually have a life, but we are also building businesses. That takes a lot of time and commitment. And before all of the kid activities and before making the decision to start these businesses, we used to do a lot of traveling. We had a lot more date nights. We had a lot of the fun stuff. But as life shifts with the kiddos and our priorities just shift. We'd love to do more fun content about marriage and parenting and random stuff within our lives. But right now, we just don't have much of that to document. So maybe next year we can change it up a bit with some real life stuff, especially since we're getting a groove with our recordings and what we're doing. And then with balancing out the kids' activities and stuff, we may be able to do a little bit more of that content. That's something that we're going to focus on a little bit next year. But with our kids are 10 and 12, guys, like, you understand that our lives are freaking psychotic right now. It's just constant go, go, go. But enough about me. Like, this is about you and things that I'm sharing. It's still, I'm just letting you know that I struggle too with recognizing what our accomplishments are, because we focus so much on what we aren't doing that it is so important to look at the things that we are doing. So guys, I know you have done something this year. You have accomplished something, even if it feels like you haven't. Go get your Word document out. That's what I did. I did a Word document. I typed out the months with bullet points, and I kind of just went with it, and see what you've done this year. You may be surprised. See what you've done this year. And if you want to go share it in the community, what you've done this year, brag. I love to see other people brag about some of their stuff, especially those in this area, those who have been harmed, those who feel like, oh, I don't want to brag about this. This feels icky. I want you to brag. It is important for you to brag. And don't look at it. You don't really even have to look at it as bragging. It's more of like, you know what? I'm proud of myself. Like, I'm proud of myself that I accomplished these things. That is important. That is something that we all need to have within ourselves. It's like, what have I done? I'm proud of myself. And it's not an icky pride. It's not. It's okay to be grateful and proud of the things that you have accomplished, because we focus so much on what we haven't accomplished. What have you done? That's going to build you up. I guarantee you the way that you feel is going to be different. You're going to feel a sense of excitement or motivation or even peace. Instead of when we focus on the negative, it's like, ooh, you get this different feeling. Your face tenses up. Your mind kind of spirals out of control. Maybe you stop breathing as much. You kind of have shorter breaths and you're just like, ooh, I need to do this. You tense. Your body will show you what you're thinking. But if you swap it and you start looking at the things that you have accomplished, there's a sense of, you'll feel your muscles will relax more. Your face is going to relax more. You're going to feel more at ease. Hold on to that feeling. Pay attention to that. It's important. All right, guys, that's all I have for this week. So until next time, I'm Paige. Bye.